So dude, if you really want to get good at your conversation skills with women, you need to understand that it's not a damn interview, bro. You're out there and you're meeting with a woman in order to connect with her and to get to know her better. You're not there to just regurgitate a million questions and ask her just a bunch of questions and bombard her like a robot. Instead, you're there to connect with her. So that being said, man, if you're really interested in upping your conversation skills with a woman, it's in your best interest to watch this video until the very end just to absorb everything this video has to offer. What's going on, guys? My name is Assam from dopelifecoaching.com, and today I'm going to be talking about 6 conversation tips for men. And there's also a bonus tip that's included. Now, if it's your first time on this channel, man, and you want consistent updates on similar videos just like this, do yourself a favor and hit the subscribe button, and also hit the bell icon so you don't miss a single thing when it's released. So the first tip, focus more on open-ended questions than on closed-ended questions. Now, what does this mean? Open-ended questions are questions that could get the other person talking more. They're not questions with just yes or no responses or one-word responses. They're questions like these, for example. These are good examples. Jot these down. Questions like, if you had $1 million right now, what would you do with that money and why? Here's another good question. What's one of your favorite memories from childhood and why? Why did it impact you so much? Another question that I use sometimes because I'm interested in it is a question like, who was the most influential person in your life and why? Why were they so influential to you? Now keep in mind, when you ask questions like these, you get her talking more about herself, and when she talks more about herself, you two get the opportunity to connect better. You really get to know her more, as opposed to questions that are more closed-ended, like, where did you grow up? What's your favorite color? How many siblings do you have? Now, while those questions, there's nothing wrong with them, but just make sure to focus more on the open-ended questions as opposed to the closed-ended questions. Because then, by the end of the date, she's going to, number one, feel like she's known you for a long time because she's sharing all this information with you in a positive way, in a genuine way. And then number two, it wasn't boring. You were a good conversationalist while it happened. The good thing about these questions is, when she starts talking about them, she's going to associate good feelings. Like, for example, the example of the memories from the childhood. If she talks about this one memory that's just very nostalgic to her, that's gonna feel good to her, and then she's gonna leave the day feeling positive and good, and she's going to associate you with those positive feelings. So it's like a win-win situation. Tip number 2, avoid negative topics as much as possible. Dude, you wanna focus more on the positive things as opposed to the negative things. The last thing you wanna talk about on your date is how bad of a job is, how much it sucks, how bad the weather is outside, how shitty of a person your ex is. If you think about that, those don't really have a positive effect on the other person, because then that's going to make them feel uncomfortable and they're going to associate those uncomfortable feelings with you. Instead, try to focus more on positive things you look forward to doing, things that made you feel so good very recently, things you're excited for in the near future. Because when you do that, again, she's going to associate those positive feelings with you, and the more she associates those positive feelings with you, the more her attraction level will grow for you. And also, sometimes it's impossible not to talk about something negative in a conversation. Here's a good one that I used not too long ago, and it was genuine. If someone's talking about how bad COVID is right now, here's my genuine opinion. Sure, COVID sucks, and it kind of sucks that there's a lot of cases going on right now. However, if everybody ends up getting COVID, it's more likely that we will all develop what's known as herd immunity, where everyone has COVID, so everyone has, the immunity necessary to fight it off if it were to come back again. So that is a positive on a negative subject. That's a positive spin on a subject that's negative. Think about something like that, something that's negative, but you could turn it more positive. And this is basic conversation skills 101, guys. When you are talking more about positive stuff, people tend to like you more and gravitate more toward you. When you talk about more negative stuff, people tend to be repelled by you and they tend to be more uncomfortable around you. So you just don't want to put yourself in that situation. Tip number 3, confident and powerful eye contact. Now, when I say confident and powerful eye contact, I don't mean to just look at her like a creep, like this, and then listening, oh yeah? Yeah? No, that's actually very creepy. It's very uncomfortable. Instead, what you should be doing is focusing on her directly in her eye with a welcoming grin. Something kind of like this. You know, you're kind of smiling, there's kind of a grin there, and you're looking at her with a smile. Not that's creepy, but that's welcoming, and it's showing that you're confident in yourself, and you're also confident in your ability to get to know her more. It signals to her that you care about her for her, which brings me to the next point. Tip number 4, listen attentively and talk much less than you speak. Focus more on her. Put most of your attention on her. When she's talking, I want you to be listening actively to her, not passively. What does this mean? This means repeating back what she said and really grasping the things that she's trying to tell you. If she's telling you about a story, actually listen to her and repeat back what she said. If she's talking about how she traveled to Spain last summer and she did X, Y, and Z, tell her, oh, wait a minute, so when you traveled to Spain and then so-and-so happened and then that happened too and then you met this person, oh my God, that's crazy, that's so random. Stuff like that. Because when you get her talking about herself, you're showing an interest more in her than you are in bragging about your own accomplishments and achievements. Most guys, bro, when they're out on a date with a woman, they're talking about themselves way too much, talking about their accomplishments, and then this just signals to the woman that they're very insecure, because the fact that they're bragging and they're boasting about their accomplishments means that they care much more about themselves than they are about listening to the girl that's in front of them on the date. And also, if the conversation gets to a point, which it probably would, to where she's asking you about something you accomplished or something you're proud of, talk about it, sure, but just don't overdo it. Don't over brag. Talk about, yeah, I achieved this, and to be honest, I'm pretty proud of myself for it, but don't just keep talking about your accomplishments. Oh, I achieved this, I got this raise last year, I got the best car at the dealership. She doesn't care about those stuff, dude. She cares about you for you, and she cares more actually about your ability to listen to her and care about her for who she really is. And also, here's another one. Remember small details about her. Small details that are very specific. It could be anything. If she talks about her favorite color or her best friend and you remember that person's name, she's going to remember that a lot because it's going to signal to her that you care about her for who she really is. And here's another tip actually, speaking of names. Say her name. There's nothing more powerful to a person in a conversation than when you say their name. All of us, this is a universal human law. We love when other people say our names, especially if she has a unique name, a name that's not so common. And if you say that and you also show an interest in how to pronounce that name correctly, if it's like a foreign name like myself, she's really going to feel appreciated and she's really going to walk out of the date feeling more attracted to you. The 5th tip, speak slowly, clearly, and enthusiastically. Let me give you an example. If she's asking about how your week's been or what you're looking forward to, and you tell her something like, my week's been pretty boring. I kind of play PS5 in my free time. There's not much going on, to be honest, this week. What else happened at work? I don't know, the weather has been kind of shitty. It kind of sucks. Do you really think that that's going to leave a positive impression in her head from you? Probably not. Instead, when she's asking you about what you're up to, what your plans are, how your week's been, and you speak enthusiastically like that, and slowly and clearly, not all over the place and all jittery where she can't even tell what you're saying. Instead, when you say something like, I'm so excited for my week, you know, my week's been pretty productive, I went to the gym, I did this, I did that, I'm super excited for the summer, I have some kick-ass plans, and also I got some reading done. That's something I'm very passionate about, by the way. Reading, I got some reading. I'm reading right now about neuro-linguistic programming and I love it. You see, that's powerful, that's effective. And I'm speaking slowly and clearly. I'm not all over the place where I can't control myself, but instead, I'm calm, I'm enthusiastic, and I'm speaking slowly and clearly. Tip number 6, inject humor into the conversation. Guys, it's very important not to take yourself or life so seriously. If you recently watched something or you did something very funny and it was so hilarious, it made you laugh hysterically, you want to talk about it. Talk about it and ask her opinion about it. And when you're telling the story and you're remembering, those feelings, how they made you feel, and you're speaking about them and you're just laughing hysterically, she's more likely to laugh as well. When you inject humor into the conversation, it's a nice deal breaker. It gets her more relaxed and it gets you more relaxed, and it allows you to connect both faster and stronger. What you could also do is you could banter with her playfully. Let's just say, for example, she's talking about ice cream and her favorite flavor of ice cream happens to be pistachio. Me personally, I hate pistachio ice cream. So if that were to happen to me, if I were put in that situation, I'd be like, your favorite flavor of ice cream is pistachio? Oh my god, that's so lame. Who chooses pistachio of all flavors of ice cream? And I genuinely don't like pistachio ice cream. I think it's funny that some people have it as their favorite flavor. But then again, I'm being playful about it. I'm not being so serious about it and weird about it. Speaking of pistachio ice cream, who chooses pistachio as a favorite flavor of ice cream? That's like walking down the cereal aisle and choosing Raisin Bran of all cereal types. It's like, of all the flavors, you chose that one? You could say something like that if it comes naturally to you. It doesn't matter what you say, it just matters the positive feelings and the relaxing feelings you give her. When you're making her laugh, it's definitely going to have a positive effect on her level of attraction for you. So here's a bonus tip. Maintain strong and masculine body language. When I say strong and masculine body language, I mean body language that's open, that's direct, that's confident, and that's relaxed. You don't want to be crossing your arms like this, closing off your chest and torso area. Instead, you want to open up that area because us as humans, when we feel threatened psychologically, we close off that area to protect ourselves. Instead, when it's nice and open, you're signaling to her that you're open to her and therefore she'll be able to connect with you more. Also, the strong masculine body language includes being slow in your reactions, not overly quick. If she's telling you, for example, to look at something behind you, and then the instant she said it, you go like this. That's not strong and confident body language. Instead, if you're nice and calm and poised, and she tells you to look at something that's funny, you just carefully look. If she tells you to look over there because something's funny, you could go ahead like this. Kind of slow, not to the point where you're like a robot, but you know what I mean. Also, when she's really opening up about herself and you're really listening to her, what you don't want to do is reel yourself into her just way too much, uncontrollably, to the point where when she's talking, you're like this, yeah, No, again, that's uncontrollable and creepy. Instead, you want to be poised, upright, confident body language with a grin. And you're listening, you're like, oh yeah? What else happened that week? What? You gotta be kidding me. Oh yeah? You see that grin? You see that body language? You see that confidence? That's exactly how you want to be. Because again, when you're showing that confident body language, you're showing her that you are confident in your own abilities to listen to her, and she's gonna feel safe and comfortable and protected when you do that emotionally, and she's likely going to want to connect with you even more. So it's in your best interest to maintain that strong masculine body language. So guys, those are the 6 conversation tips when it comes to men on dates, as well as the bonus tip. Whenever you're out on a date next, just make sure to jot these down and not to just regurgitate or rehearse them like a robot. You want to be natural at this. You want to be a good listener. You want to be charismatic. You want to be charming. You want to be positive. You want to maintain that strong, confident body language. You want to build that rapport. You want to be a good listener. All those things. And dude, it also just takes some practice. If you're new to this, you're not going to be perfect on the first time. But a good tip is to just focus more on her than on yourself. Because when we're too focused on ourselves, that could give us anxiety. Instead, when we focus on the other person, we're more open, we're more confident, and we're worrying less about ourselves and more about the other person and how much we want to know about them for who they really are. So that pretty much covers everything, guys. If you like the video, make sure you show your support by smashing that thumbs up button. And also, if you want consistent updates on similar content like this, once again, hit that subscribe button and also hit the bell icon so you don't miss a single thing in the future. Comment down in the comment section below for how this video helped you and for similar circumstances that you've been in and what you will be doing from now on during your dates. And I'd be way more than happy to respond to those comments or to create new videos based on those topics. Go to my website, www.dopelifecoaching.com. We still have free consultations for first timers, dude, so make sure you take advantage of that offer. So that's about it, man. Go out there, kill your conversations with women, show more of an interest in them than you are in bragging about yourself, and watch awesome stuff happen, man. I'll catch you later. Peace.